Bringing Rob Shimshock. He's the education reporter for the Daily Caller news network. He's Skype in Washington, D.C. So you're a young guy, Rob. You look like you're like 15 years old. You're a real youthful guy, and that's why I wanted you on, because I'm an old guy. And I sound like a cranky old guy, all right, today. In your view as a millennial, is this insane? Or are you seeing the points of all of these people saying cultural appropriation, you can't do it, on and on and on and on?
Well, thanks for having me, Bill. And
Sure.
yes, I do definitely think it's insane. And, you know, as an education reporter, I often cover these concepts like cultural appropriation, microaggression, trigger warning, all these phrases, which I'm sure you've heard crop up.
Sure.
And cultural appropriation, I think, really represents the pinnacle of progressive lunacy, because it's so-called cultural appropriation has been essential to the growth of our society. All of the things we cherish, like capitalism, technology, innovation, Western ideals, these are things that we've taken from cultures and we've made it American. And that sometimes involves, you know, ripping them as is, but it sometimes involves injecting them with more of an American twist on things. So the concept that cultural appropriation would somehow be a bad thing just strikes me as bizarre.
Do you know anybody in your world, in your life, that if there was a party, a Halloween party, and you dressed up like Cochise, the fierce Apache warrior, that a person would be offended by that when you walked in and said, hey, I'm Cochise, and you know, I'm a Native American, I'm a tough guy, and I represented my people very well, and here I am. You know anybody would be offended by that?
So definitely, where I went to school, University of Virginia, there was a community of progressives, and in fact, one guy who was the editor of my paper, one of the editors, and he was offended because he saw a white guy wearing dreadlocks on campus, and so he thought this was an instance of cultural appropriation, I think, and he took to Facebook complaining about it.
Okay.
So yeah,
but don't they want to be offended? There's a difference between being really offended and wanting to be offended by everything, looking to be offended. And I think that's what the secular progressive movement's all about. They're looking to be offended by conduct outside of their crew. Their crew can do whatever they want, okay? But if you're not a secular progressive and you dress up in dreadlocks, all right, you want to be Rob Marley or whatever, okay? Oh, that's really offensive. That's terrible.
Yes, of course. And I think one thing that's really very dangerous about cultural appropriation and the type of activists who really put it out there as a bad thing is that these are the very same people who try to conflate hate speech or ideas with which they disagree with as some kind of violence. And then you have the you have the uptick of groups like Antifa that respond to this kind of wrongthink with genuine violence.
Yes, so and they're saying we're protecting our people, so we have to hurt you. Now, I went to Marist College. I went to the University of London in England. I went to Boston University, and I went to Harvard. Okay, I'm way overeducated. In all of those institutions, when I was there, I was never offended by anything other than massive homework. Homework offended me, all right? But I was not offended during the Vietnam protests when people were saying vile things about their country. I said, look, they have a perfect right to do it. The war is controversial. They're doing what they do. Later on at Boston U, there was a big culture war going on there about drug use and behavior in the dormitories. But it was all, I mean, it was nobody like paralyzed with fear. All right, there were no, even at BU and Harvard, there were no safe spaces. There were no, you got to protect the inclusive community. And so, none of that. I never saw it one time. But now, apparently, on college campuses, everybody's falling apart emotionally. Is that what's happening?
I think probably the most concerning case of this, and it definitely speaks to the whole safe space concept, was Harvard Law. And I believe this was either a year or two ago, but some students were complaining that to discuss rape law was too triggering for them. Of course, if you don't learn about rape law, how are you supposed to, as an aspiring lawyer, going to then go out into the
Right.
world and deal with it.
It's just it's getting so far out of control. I can't believe it. Rob, we appreciate it. Happy Halloween to you. I think you dressed up like who are you today? John Boehner, former Speaker of the House.
Yeah,
You're looking sharp. Yeah. I
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
you helping us out. Very nice of you to do it.